That's where the aha moment was. So I'd gotten this incredible opportunity to work at a vertically integrated factory in China. Vertically integrated meaning that we never had to leave the compound of the factory. They were casting zips and tanning leathers, and anything you could dream of was being done within the walls of the factory.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to move around on Segway scooters. That's how big it was.
Oh, nice.
And it was great. It was a fantastic job. And I was working for brands like Ash and Jean-Michel Casabat and Nine West and Aldo. And it was interesting. It was fun. And I was a whole lot younger than I was now. So it was like what I would say probably the pinnacle of my footwear design experience. And there was a particular color EVA foam. So the EVA foam was used for the outsoles of the sneakers that I was designing. It was very unique to the brand that I was working with at that stage. I'm not going to mention that brand.
Okay.
And the color was very iconic.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're just running through the motions, right? You design, you pick out your materials, you go watch the molders do their job, that sort of thing. And you don't think about it.
Yeah.
I never at that stage even thought about where the factory waste went to. I was just so in it. Like it was my first experience in China. The most that I knew at that stage was like, ni hao. That was it. So it was understanding the language, trying to get my head around the food. And at that stage, I was vegetarian. So I couldn't figure out which food was vegetarian or not, And on a day, I was like, you know what? I'm so tired of being in the compound of the factory. I just want to go out. I want to see what life is like here. And at that stage, it was in Dongguan, and Dongguan is very developed now.
Yeah.
But at that stage, it really was, and it was developing. So, you'd find a factory, but peppered around the factory would be people's homes.
Yes.
And villages, like literally. And I went out walking, and I see in the distance these kids are playing and they're having like a real fun time with something, but the color is so striking. And I'm like, that color is so familiar.
Yeah.
And as I walked to the where the kids were playing, it was where the factory was dumping their waste. So these kids, EVA is toxic, right? It is, and it's never going to biodegrade. Let's just put it out there because it becomes microplastics. It can't biodegrade. It is a plastic-based material. And these kids were there, like, making little cars out of it, and they were just playing on a heap of manufacturing waste.
Oh.
And it was at that point when I looked at this and I said, I'm responsible for this. These kids are literally playing with toxic waste, and I am the reason it is there, okay? Like, I am a big part of the reason it is there because my design was not clever. There was a lot of waste in that design. I could have spoken to someone at the factory and said, let's think about ways that we can reuse the material that we don't need. Like, are there ways to remold any other thing besides throwing it outside the walls of the factory? And it was at that point when I said, you know what? We've got to think about the way we make things better because that has a trickle-down effect to how people consume it.